Good morning. Do you remember March? Yeah, that was 5 months ago. 5 months ago, our kids were working on reading and writing, but the question is, how are they going to be when it comes to September and they go back to school with their reading and writing skills? And it is indeed BT Summer School, and this is where we're always trying to help you teach your children. And helping me today teach our children is Ruth Rumak, who is the Executive Director of Education and the founder and the woman herself, Ruth Rumak's Learning Space. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, big concern though.
Huge.
Yeah, my sons, Gavin and Matheson, their reading and writing levels, I'm worried that they're going to slide.
You know what? Summer slide is real, and we know research tells us that when it starts in June and we have a break until September, we can lose up to 2 to 3 months of gains that a child has made in the school year. Now we're working from March to September, which is a huge amount of time. So we've got lots of activities and things to do. We want to keep things fresh. We don't want it to seem like school all year round, but we definitely want to infuse some activities into what we do that will then challenge our students with their written expression.
Maybe a little hard because kids are going to be like, yeah, reading, writing, no way, I don't want to do it. How do we make it fun?
I think it's almost like, slipping vegetables into your main meal. You've got to kind of do it in a little bit of a sneaky way, but also in a fun way. So the more fun you have with it and the more active role you take in it, the easier it is. So we want to start with reading, and how do we motivate kids to read and read more? So we want to start with a cozy place to read. So I brought out our pop-up tent, someplace, a beanbag chair, something that you can do that's really different than just sitting in the chair and reading.
Right.
And then we've got our timer there. So this is our time timer, which if you turn the knob, which is disinfected, don't worry, it will count down, but it visually shows us how much time you have left.
I like that.
It's a great visual reminder, and for kids who don't understand time, they at least see that time is ticking. So drop everything and read is something that kids do in school naturally. Most classrooms do it, and you can do it as a family. Drop everything and read 20 to 30 minutes. Make it fun. You can do it together. Use silly voices. You can do readers theater, a whole bunch of ideas to make it interactive.
Audiobooks too.
Audiobooks are huge. So we've got, lots of apps for that, and some authors are now reading their own books online as well, which is a nice way to do it. So if we look at the written expression, we want to practice reading skills, but we also want to practice writing. And if we start over at the end for our K-3 kids, you want to choose a theme or something that interests your child. So it might be an animal, it might be nature, it might be something else, and find something that's a silly picture of a squirrel hanging out at a bird feeder. You want to read something together and then perhaps do an activity, a craft, bake something, create something, build something, and then you get to write about it. So my philosophy is you always want to make it active, and you want to make it enjoyable, and the more fun it is, the better. Let's take a look in the middle.
Right.
So when we do written expression in school, we talk about the process, the writing process. And there are many, many ways to get to the writing process, but our starting point is always brainstorm. So this is a little example. If we'd read Harry Potter and we were doing an activity, find an item or a series of items that represent the characteristics of Harry Potter. So my son, who is 28, who loves Harry Potter, said, okay, Mom, it's got to be Philosopher's Stone.
Right.
Like, all right, we got it. So we
there.
colored our stone orange. That was part of the activity. Well, my 28-year-old didn't do it, but the younger kids can. And then we went and did a brainstorm. Well, why would we choose that Philosopher's Stone to represent his characteristic? Because he's brave, and it represents the 3 trials that he had to go through.
Right.
So once we do the brainstorming, we have a starting place. And I think that's the most important thing for kids, is that they don't know where to start. It's sort of, if you leave it open-ended, write about your day. Well, it doesn't give them enough of a focus or a structure.
Right.
So giving them some structure will help.
Right.
If we look at our older kids, they're going back into grade 9, grade 10, 11, 12, and they're going to be expected to understand the themes and the symbolism, how to summarize what they've read. So if you're reading articles or short stories, you want to compare and contrast them. You can even do it with movies. Watch 2 movies, maybe a remake, the original and the remake, and then do a compare and a contrast chart. You can do it orally, but I would practice that written skill of getting your notes in order and then writing a paragraph about it, or creating a video, or even more importantly, write a song about it.
Which is great.
I'm doing the guitar thing.
I have to ask about the shaving cream.
Okay, shaving cream. This is not an ad.
Why?
Shaving cream. We want to get our hands dirty during the summer for sure. So I'm going to. Am I doing the right? So this is all about practicing your letters. And when you practice your letters, this is for the younger kids. It could be for spelling, it could be for letter formation. We really want to activate the neurons in the brain by touching things. So if we were going to practice, let's say, the letter B, and we would say we're going to start at the top, we're going to pull down, go back to the top, make one bump and then another bump. We're practicing with some kind of resistance.
Right.
And when you practice with resistance, the brain remembers what you're doing more. And at the same time, it's fun and it can get messy. And you know what? You can take it anywhere, right?
With chalk as well.
Sidewalk chalk, get out on the curb, get on your driveway, and really practice the things that you want to practice, but not in a paper pencil way. So if you take it outside of the school venue, you're going to have more fun.
Where do people get a hold of you?
You can find us at www.ruthrumak.com and also at RRLS Toronto.
Thank you very much, Ruth.
Thank you.
And I hope your